Hello, bruvs. We're back with Glenda by Janice May Udry, 1969 classic. I'm not reading out of my book, so I'm using the digital form per a request from a viewer. Chapter 5, The Princess Part. Karen told me she hoped Miss Willow wouldn't choose you to be the princess in the play because she thought you wouldn't make a good princess at all, Glenda told Marcia at recess one day. Did she really say that? Demanded Marcia. Yes, she did. Of course she told me not to tell you. But I thought you'd want to know what she really thinks of you, said Glenda calmly. Well, I'd like to know what makes Karen think she is such a good judge of who could be a princess and who couldn't. She would certainly be the worst one in the room to be picked for princess. Marcia told me she hoped Miss Willow wouldn't choose you to be the princess because she thought you would be the worst one in the school, Glenda told Karen while they were standing in the cafeteria line. Did she really say that? Asked Karen. Yes, she did. Of course, she told me not to tell you, but I thought you'd want to know, said Glenda. Well, thank you for telling me, said Karen angrily, with tears in her eyes. Glenda was delighted when Karen and Marcia stopped speaking to each other. Miss Willow was having everyone in the room try out for the different parts of a fairy tale play. It became clear to Miss Willow and the other children that Karen and Marcia especially were trying to outdo each other when they read for the princess part. Instead of talking together before school in the mornings now, the girls stood in two little groups, Marcia in one and Karen in the other. Often one of the girls didn't get to school until the bell was ringing. When Miss Willow took the class out for relay races, Karen and Marcia were never on the same team. They never sat together at a table in the cafeteria anymore. Some of the girls said they hoped Karen would be princess, and some of them said they hoped that Marcia would be. Glenda didn't say anything. She hoped to be princess herself. Finally, Miss Willow said, I'm sorry to take so long in choosing the cast for the play, boys and girls. You've been very patient. You all read so well, I can't make up my mind. I've decided to let the class choose by secret ballot. Each child wrote his choices for the different parts on small pieces of paper and folded them. Fred walked down the aisles with an empty box, and each child put his votes into the box. Then Miss Willow opened the papers. After reading and counting the votes, she wrote the names of the actors and actresses on the blackboard. Karen and Marcia had tied for the part of princess. Even though Glenda had voted for herself, the other two girls still had more votes. Karen raised her hand. She was very pale. I don't feel well, Miss Willow. May I be excused? Certainly, said Miss Willow. Go right down to the nurse, Karen. Karen left the room. The next day, Betsy reported that Karen had chickenpox. 3 days later, Alice reported that Marcia wasn't at school because she also had chickenpox. Miss Willow decided to go ahead with the play. Glenda was chosen princess because she had received the most votes after Karen and Marcia. Glenda did not get chickenpox. Glenda was certain that she knew exactly how the princess should act and talk. She also thought she knew how all the other parts should be played, and she told the other girls and boys so as often as Miss Willow would permit. Glenda spoke all her lines good and loud, and somehow or other, most of the time she was on the stage, she was standing in front of someone else. After the play, the other girls talked for days about the fantastic princess costume Glenda wore.